So let's get into our 100 questions every seller should ask. Question number 10, what is a pre-listing inspection and should I have one?
We'll start off by discussing what a home inspection is. So, home inspection is when you have a licensed home inspector come in and they're going to assess the condition of the property. They're going to poke around and see if there's anything that's broken, anything that's out of code, or just things that aren't working optimally. So this usually happens when a buyer is doing their due diligence. A buyer puts your home under contract and then they have a home inspection conducted so they can know about the true condition of the property. So a pre-listing inspection is just when the seller has that inspection done before they put their house on the market.
The way a home inspection works is you have this person doing a general overview of the property, and they have really some base level skills or knowledge about different segments of the property, which include the HVAC system, the electrical system, plumbing, roofing, pest control, also on the exterior of the property, water mitigation, the gutter system. They just know a lot about a lot of things, right? This is the person you call to let you know who you should call next. It's going to cost you way too much money to bring out all of these professionals at one time. So you bring a home inspector in and they review all of these items. In addition to that, they also look at the appliances, right? So they want to run, they'll run all the appliances to make sure that they're in good working condition. Also that they've been installed properly. Just because you have an appliance in your property doesn't mean it was installed properly. You would be amazed at the number of times that's mentioned on a home inspection report.
All the stoves that aren't anchored.
Right. Also the dishwashers are not installed properly on a regular basis. The purpose of a home inspection, a pre-listing inspection is to be proactive. The way the process works, your property hits the market after your listing, after you sign a listing agreement with your real estate agent. And then shortly afterwards, the property goes under contract, at least in Northern Virginia, where we're located. From the time that the property goes under contract to the time that it actually is, there is the buyer's home inspection, you only have about 7 days. From that time to the closing, there's maybe an additional 21 days. There's really not that much time for you to do too many repairs in the event that you find something that's a major issue. A pre-listing inspection gives you an opportunity to get ahead of those larger repairs. It allows you to get ahead of the true condition of the property because you don't know what's going to cause a buyer to want to walk away. What is the major issue for a buyer? Each buyer is different.
Yeah, so you know the day-to-day issues in your home, right? So you know about the leaky faucet, you know that sometimes the toilet runs. These are things that you know about just from living in the house. You know about the doors that rub when you open and close them, right? But then there are going to be the hidden issues, the things that you just don't see because you aren't aware of them or you don't have the expertise to even be aware of them, right? So this is a great opportunity to have someone come in to give you a list of things that you want to remedy before you put the house on the market so you can have a better idea of the true condition, because you'll be surprised at the things that will cause a buyer to walk. And you have no idea what a buyer's tipping point is going to be. We had a client recently who was purchasing a home and they insisted on an air quality test because they had issues in a previous home with mold. We've had issues just with a buyer who wasn't happy because some of the windows didn't open or close properly. So if you know about that on the front end, that means that if your windows are under warranty, you can have someone come in. You can begin the warranty process with the window manufacturer where you have them come in and fix or replace the windows. So that is done well before the house even comes on the market.
All right. Again, just a reminder, this is about being proactive. Once your home goes under contract, you usually start the process of figuring out where you're going to move next, lining up your movers, lining up all of the details about the next property. A buyer's home inspection happens a few days into your contract and into the time that your home is under contract. You don't want to be blindsided by anything. So be proactive as you can be.
And you, as you were saying, you don't know what they're going to ask. So just with that window example, let's say there is an issue with the windows. Well, if you have to call the warranty company to come out, the window company to come out and take a look at your windows, that could be something that could take several weeks. And as we said, the house goes on the contract day 7, you get the home inspection report. If you're closing in 30 days, what if the company needs longer than 2 to 3 weeks to come out and do the repair? So again, you want to be proactive because that time that you have to be reactive can be very short.
So what are the benefits to the seller? So what's the pros for doing a pre-listing inspection? First of all, you know what's going on. If you know what's going on with the property, then you can be you could be ahead of the negotiation process, right? So sometimes buyers will actually use the home inspection to reduce the sales price or to get a reduction in the cost of the property, or even get some closing cost assistance.
Mhm.
This is all going to hit your bottom line. If you know in advance, okay, great, my property is in X condition, then you can negotiate with that leverage on your side. So you remove all the surprises. You also have more time to make repairs. You also remove the back and forth that can happen with a buyer who likes to negotiate. Some buyers love going back and forth, asking for things. They feel like you have to lose for them to win. You get ahead of that type of buyer. And then lastly, if you find something out that's major and you feel the need to not have that issue repaired, you can just market that segment or that item is going to be as is. It's in its as is condition. The buyer knows that going up front. So when they put their offer in place, you don't have to worry about them having any surprises.
Well, not only that, if there is a big issue that comes up during the home inspection, let's say it is the thing that causes the buyer to walk away. Well, you now have the house back on the market, and that is going to make it more difficult for you to sell to the next buyer because they're going to want to know, well, what happened? Why did this buyer walk away? And if it is a major issue, you do have to let them know the reason for that buyer walking. Or let's say the buyer walks and you decide you now want to fix the issue. Well, if it is a bigger issue and it takes some time to fix, let's say it's going to take 30 days, let's say it's going to take 6 weeks because a part has to be ordered. Well, during that time, you may have to pull the house off the market while you get that item repaired so that you're ready to entertain future buyers. Now, that comes with some disadvantages. Having a pre-inspection does come with some disadvantages because once you know, you can't unknow. So once you know there's an issue, especially if there's a major issue, you know about it, you have to disclose it to any potential buyers. So you're going to have to disclose that. You're legally obligated to do that. So as Abraham said, you can market it as is, but you have to be prepared that if you find out that there is a major issue within the home or something that needs to be remedied, be prepared to fix it, meaning that you have the funds available to fix it or you're prepared to market the home accordingly.
All right, so that was question number 10. What is a pre-listing inspection and should I have one? I'm in favor of pre-listing inspections because they give the seller an advantage, an information advantage, and you know exactly what needs to be done. In Northern Virginia, most properties come on the market. Most properties, the seller has already started talking to the listing agent months in advance. So you already have this time to knock out the pre-listing inspection items, to knock out the HOA repair items, and then put the house on the market clean, and you don't have to have any stress or worries about a buyer backing out of the deal. There's nothing worse than getting 7-10 days into a contract and then knowing that the buyer is walking just because you didn't have the HVAC system service.
Right. You've already hired the movers. You've called the movers. You may have even started packing because you're anticipating moving in 3 weeks. And now you have a buyer back out because of something that was completely avoidable had you had those professionals come in and take care of those things on the front end.